morning, everyone. So, before I start my presentation, I would like to ask you guys, have you ever wondered why men and women tend to argue with each other? I also want to ask you, do you even know that your pupil's diameter size will change based on what you are thinking? So yeah, that's why we have came out with our own solutions, which is conducting research on eye tracking and cognitive efforts. The objective is to examine the gender differences in visual behavior, and also we want to measure the fixation patterns and pupils dilation to reveal the attention and mental effort based on each person. So, as what we are, what we know, currently gender differences in visual processing that mention that women tend to be more exploratory gazers, while men are better at tracking movement. And they also mention that culture and task-related factors will influence our own pupil dilation and also our pupil diameter size. And that's why we want to conduct a research on students at University Malaya, which is around 20 to 22 years old. So that's why we came out with two research questions. Firstly, there is no significant difference in fixation duration between male and female participants. And the second research question is, there is no significant difference in pupil diameter between mental power stimuli and also non-mental power stimuli. For H1 for each question, we believe there is a significant difference between both of them. So as you can see from the Gantt chart, this is basically our whole progress for the whole project and research until now. In this slide, we believe that you can see all our teammates, members. Firstly, you can see Adam, which is our group team leader, and also remaining is our members. On the right side of the column, you can see what they have done throughout the project and research.
Next, I'll be sharing a quick overview of the key studies that support our research on how people respond to visual illusions using eye tracking. We will focus on gender differences and pupil dilation as sign of cognitive load. Firstly, why use eye tracking? Eye tracking is a powerful tool in cognitive science. It helps us see where people are looking, how long they focus on certain areas, and how their eyes move around the image. Most importantly, it also tracks pupil size, which tells us how mentally engaged someone is. Next, why visual illusions? We chose visual illusions because they confuse the brain, and that's a good thing. They help us study how people perceive things and how their attention shifts. Illusions are also useful for seeing how people differ in perception and mental effort. Next, gender and gaze behavior. One of our research questions is whether men and women look at illusions differently. Some studies say yes, they found different eye movement patterns, but other studies say there's no real difference, so the findings are quite mixed, and that's why we want to look into it further. And lastly, pupil dilation and mental effort. Pupil size isn't just about light, it also linked to how hard our brain is working. When someone is focused or trying to make sense of tricky image, their pupils often get bigger. A study by Zevekno and colleagues in 2017 found that pupil change matched how strong or bright an illusion appeared to a person. So, pupil dilation is a good way to measure cognitive load. So, to sum up, past research shows gender might affect how people look at illusions, but it's not conclusive. Pupil size, on the other hand, is a great clue about how hard our brain is working. And one study by Zevekno and team found that pupils actually respond to how strong or bright an illusion feels.
So the next part is methodology. For the participant, we got 85 undergraduate students from FSKTM, and then 27 of them are female, 58 of them are male, and they are between 20 until 24 years old. And for the material, student eyes movement were recorded using the Tobii Pro Fiction Eye Tracker at 130 Hz. Moving on to the procedure, our data collection began with eyes tracking calibration. So participants will ask to follow a moving dot on the screen with their eyes. But if we blink too much or are not detected, and then we need to do it again. Next, the participant need to answer some simple quiz like what do you see in this picture, tree or monkey, or other question like which one is AI generated. So we need to select one from two options given. So next, after we get the file from all this data, we need to extract the data using Toby ProLab and analyze it using Google Colab. Lastly, we just need to do a visualization and report finding from the data.
Moving on, for the analysis part, first we have pre-processing. So first, we standardize participant name for consistent merging, and then we merge two datasets, which are optical illusion raw data and participant gender data. After that, we filter for fixation events only. Then we remove missing or null durations, apply duration bounds, remove irrelevant stimuli, such as calibration markers, and created event start column to mark new stimulus events. For features extracted, we extracted fixation count, mean fixation duration, pupil diameter trends, and categorized stimuli, which are mental stimuli and non-mental stimuli. Next, for statistical analysis method, first, for basic visualizations, we have histogram, bar chart, and box plot. For advanced visualizations, we have violin plots, line plot, and kernel density plots. And lastly, for inferential analysis, we have Cohen's D, power analysis, and tests with Skippy or stats models. And lastly, for software we use Google Colab in Python environment, Pandas, for preprocessing and merging, Matplotlib or Seaborn for visualization, as well as FIC or stats model for statistical testing and power analysis.
Alright, so we move on to the results and discussion page. So we go through the first research question first, which is whether there is a significant difference in fixation durations between male and female participants. So based on our t-test that we use, since our data is not normal, we use Ben Shapiro test, it did not pass the test. So we use t-test, and the result from the t-test is we obtain the p-value of 0.05, which states that we can reject the null hypothesis, which states that there's actually a statistical evidence of a gender difference in fixation duration. And we found out that male participants showed significantly longer fixations compared to females. And why is this? So we did our research, then we are able to differentiate between two cognitive processing style. First of all, it's goal-directed processing style, and second is detailed or holistic processing style. So goal-directed processing style is actually when someone go through a stimulus and while already know what is the end goal or the target of the stimulus. While as for detailed and holistic processing style is when a participant go through each and every detail of the image to try and identify the goal of the image itself. That's why it takes them a longer fixations duration. Alright, so for our second research question, which is the relation whether that is a difference in pupil diameter for stimulus that require high cognitive load with stimulus that does not require high cognitive load. So we found out that from our Mann-Whitney U test, which obtained a p-value of very small, it was less than 0.05, so we can reject the null hypothesis. So what does it mean? It actually means that there is actually a significant difference between the average pupil diameter between mental power stimuli and non-mental related stimuli. So it suggests that a mental power stimuli require higher cognitive effort, reflected by the increased pupil size. So to explain this, the pupil size is regulated by the autonomic nervous system, and that's true. Parasympathetic branch and the sympathetic branch. Parasympathetic branch is actually when we are relaxed and chill. So most of the time, our pupil does not go big because we are not really thinking that much. But for sympathetic branch, it dilates the pupils. Why? Because this is the time when we are actively thinking, are actively are processing the information. So why does our pupil go big? Because they want to our body system, the autonomic nervous system, it tries to allow more light to go inside our retina, our eyes, so that we are able to process the information better and identify the goal and target better.
Hi, I'm Alison, and I'll be presenting our study's limitations and our suggestions before wrapping up today's presentation. So, we encountered a sample imbalance, which consists of 58 males versus 27 female participants, which might have reduced the precision of our study results. Besides that, we were constrained from machine learning training due to the limited sample size. And because we conduct analysis assuming pooled stimuli, it masks image specific fixation patterns. And also, we lacked qualitative mood data, which might have caused misses in possible emotion driven pupil effects. And hence, we suggest that future studies recruit balanced group after conducting priori power analysis, and to add clustering and machine learning to predict individual visual scanning styles. Future studies can also analyze by stimulus type or area of interest for insights that are content specific. They can also collect Likert scale mood ratings from participants alongside eye tracking. So, for our study, we have concluded that there is no gender differences when it comes to fixation count. However, males have significantly longer fixation duration as compared to their female counterparts. Our power analysis confirmed that our sample was adequate for the result, and we conducted a full pipeline from ID cleaning to advanced statistics and power checks. So, next steps or for future studies could be AOI, area of interest mapping, machine learning modeling, and balanced recruitment when it comes to genders for more robust generalization. We'd like to shout out Dr. Unaiza, the lab staff, ChatGPT, and the Python open source community for making this possible with us. And here are some of our references. Finally, thank you so much for listening, and we hope our study has shed a new light on where and how attention shapes understanding.